So welcome tonight to our Starting Strong team training call. So this evening we're going to look at customer care and our customer care process, and also how we can look at if we've got a customer who's looking at maybe cancelling or who doesn't want their next box, then how do we deal with that, and how do we deal with our expectations as well. So to really begin, customer care starts with that first initial conversation. So when we're looking at our customer care, we have to understand their why. Really getting a good, clear understanding as to what's got them excited about trying Juice Plus. What are they expecting? What's their expectations? Are they clearly informed? So do they understand payments? Do they understand the way the shipping works? How the direct debits work? Do they understand about receiving the product all up front? They're not going to get new shipments coming out through the month. Do they understand that we can't promise anything? You know, everyone's different. They have different physical changes and experiences. And do they understand about the children's health study? You know, that they're going to get free products for their kids. It is under a study. They're looking at maybe 12 months commitment. Obviously, if they don't like it after the first box, they can cancel, but they'll never be able to have it again. So really setting that, getting to know your customer from the get-go, guys, really helps. When we get down to their second box shipping, we can always go back to that information. So I always write notes on my customers. So when they've signed up, I have convos of, okay, so what's got you excited? You know I don't eat enough fruit and veggies. I'm really lacking in energy, and my kids, it's a struggle. So I write that down, whether for me it's in my phone with all their information. You can use your VO as well, or you can write it in a diary. So if you're tracking your customers in a diary, you can put it in a spreadsheet on your desktop or on your computer as well. That's really handy at the same time. So understanding why they've begun is really, really crucial. So when you can go back and they're like, oh no, like I'm just, I don't want my next box. It's like, oh, so like, how's your energy been? How are the kids? Have they been eating more fruit and veggies? Oh yeah. They're drinking more water. Have they been sick? No. Wow, well, when you first started, this was what happening with you and your body, because sometimes they forget. We actually forget. I know me. I forget how shitty I forget how shit I felt. I've been a Juice Plus kid for like over 2 years. I'm actually scared to go off it. So we do forget how malnourished we were before Juice Plus. So we can kind of get a bit like, oh, I don't think it's working. I've got a snuffy nose, when everyone is literally in the hospital dying. So getting clear. Also to never overpromise and underdeliver. And I think that's, I see it a lot, or I hear it a lot, generally, whether it's Juice Plus or any other company out there, any service, you can really maybe over complicate and go, oh yeah, you're going to have this and you're going to experience this, and oh, that'll definitely happen to you, and this is what's happened to me. So that person goes in maybe with a false expectation, and when that doesn't happen, if they don't have weight loss, or they don't have, their skin doesn't clear up overnight, or they're not jumping out of bed with energy, they go Juice Plus is shit and it doesn't work. So I think really managing those expectations and really being clear to them that this is what it's done for me based on my body's needs. I have no idea what it's going to do for you, but isn't it exciting to see what the body can come up with, So let me go to my notes. Doing a survey. So we used to have, if you're just starting the business, we used to have what was called the Juice Plus Effect Survey. And we used to do that at the 3-month mark, which just went through, are you pooing more, is your bowel movement sort of regular? Is your skin, hair and nails healthier? Have you had many sick days? How's your energy? How's your sleep? How is your overall health? Are you having less doctor's visits, medications? What else? There was a few different different aspects. Are you training, have you had weight loss? Are you training harder at the gym and having less soreness? Those kind of things. So make sure you ask your team, your uplines, because this survey is still really good. And what happened, we used to do it at 3-month mark, and then their next box, when they said yes to their next box, they would get some free product as a thank you gift. So I still do my survey with my customers, whether there's no free product anymore, but I just send them out a little gift with their second box if they choose to receive it. It might just be a few complete sachets, or it could just be something nice, a nice little card, just saying thank you so much. Your Juice Plus journey is really just beginning. So they kind of feel valued. So the survey is really good to do at the start. And you can ask any of us. I can do up a quick little one or find an old one and put it into our Starting Strong group. Really good to do at the start. And then do it at that 3-month mark, because you can kind of see where they're at. And it kind of reminds them, if they're kind of starting to feel like I'm going to cancel, you're like, so when you first did it, you were saying you weren't sleeping very well and you were constipated. And how are you now? Now you've said that you're regular, and Juice Plus is working. You are drinking more water. So it's the subtle changes, really helping to educate their subtle changes. Does that make sense, guys? Is anyone doing that, or has some kind of a system where they're doing that within their business? Yeah. Do you think that would be something that you could incorporate into your system? Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm just going to make notes as I go. Awesome. It is, as I put on my flyer today, Fee has told us to be finder keepers. It is so much easier to find and keep a customer than continuously finding new customers. And the one thing, and we notice it all, Juice Plus we're in a big country, but, the word's getting out there. So for one person who has a great experience with Juice Plus, they're probably going to tell one of their friends, but someone who has a shitty experience with Juice Plus is going to tell the world. So the better care that we can give to our customers, the most value we can add to our customers, we're going to keep them, and we're going to also keep the name of Juice Plus and the company in a really high level standard. Okay, so be a finder keeper. Really, there's some people that just are going to fall off. And it's managing that expectation. Sometimes we want it more than what they do. Some people just want a quick fix, and we're not about that. And I'll go into that a little bit more. When you first get your customer, really kind of, I don't message them every day. I know there's people who are out there messaging them every day. Do what works for you, what feels right to you. For me, I message out and say congratulations, welcome. I add them to our Facebook group. I also email them directly a welcome letter with some information about what they could expect. So there's a document called the Gas and Wind. So it kind of tells them about what they could experience through detoxification. So they really need to understand that. Even when I've explained it to people are like, I'm allergic. No, you're detoxing. But if we can give them more information, it's going to help their journey. There's a water document as well, which is all about drinking water and helping to aid the system in flushing. There's also a document about what you possibly could expect, so they can kind of tick things off as they go and experience, whether it's, I'm a super pooper, or they're sleeping better, or whatever it might be. A nice welcome letter to make them feel like they're not just a number, they're just not a sale. I always celebrate them on my Facebook page, in our team customer care page, and I always send them a text message when I've actually put their order through, congratulating them on investing in themselves, because that's what they're really doing, is investing in their health. And it's you congratulating them on basically worthing themselves enough to invest in their own health, because we can invest in everyone else, but we find it very, very hard to invest in ourselves. How's that? You can show them. Okay, beautiful. I'm just going to, beautiful, Suze. So once I've congratulated them and started that conversation, I will touch base with them around 7 to 10 days to make sure that their shipping has arrived. I always explain to them that that if they weren't there for delivery, it could be at the post office. So if you've got people going, I haven't received it yet, make sure you always tell your customer that we'll put those documents in for you, Lynn. We can always make sure, that go and check your post box or go into the post because it's probably there waiting for you. I'm just going to write docs. So yeah, touch base with them. We want to create a habit. So we want them to create that Juice Plus habit. So our team send out funny little pictures of Channing Tatum with his abs out with, have you taken your Juice Plus today? Or, whatever it might be. And it might be just on a week, a random little message saying, have you taken it today? It's just a customer care, whether they respond. It's not even after a response. It's just letting them know that you're there. Also too, lately I've just been putting some JPEGs together and I can share it into our group, which is just say the benefits of a tomato. And there's 4 or 5 different benefits that tomatoes have in the body. And then I kind of sort of caption it of, thank goodness, even on a bad day, JP has you covered. So in just texting that little one out. So if they haven't eaten tomatoes today, hey, it's in their Juice Plus and they're covered. Winning. So it's just all those little customer care out value adds that really does add up to keeping that person. In the end, they don't actually, if they've got a relationship with you, they're not gonna want to cancel. And normally it's because they can't afford it. And normally if they do cancel, they're going to go to head office and cancel that way because they're too embarrassed to have that conversation because it is really just a financial thing. So touching base with them, explain detox, especially if they are doing something like the Complete Transformation or the Juicy Booty movement. If they're doing a program, they're clean eating at the same time, their detox can really kick in fast. So just touch base with them and keep that communication open. If you haven't got a customer care group, definitely set your customer care group up. CT uplines, they might have one already. So if not, just add one. And you only really need to post in 3 times a week. That's really enough to add really good value add content and sort of touch base with them as well. Explain there's no quick fixes, guys. We really need to be very, very honest about that. Quick fixes don't exist. We all know that as well. So always share your story, go back to your story. And in the end, the body does what it does at its own pace and time. So we really, again, need to set that boundary. All right, so another part of our customer care is knowing when your clients are going to ship. Has anyone had a customer ship and they've completely forgot or missed it or something's happened and the customer's got a product and you're like, oh shit? Yeah? Anyway, yeah. Okay, so if you're new to this business, we do have alerts in our VO. It'll alert saying you've got a customer due to ship in the next 10 days. That is great, but learn to run your customer genealogy report at least twice in a month. So if you've got a pen, I'm going to tell you how to find that. On a Monday, head office will send your customer genealogy out to you, to your emails. And so that's going to show you all your customers. It's going to have all your customer information. And it's also going to show you, and I'll just show you, I'll show you where this sort of comes in handy. But it's got all your customers' details. It'll have their name, address, phone numbers, if they're a preferred customer, their installation. This highlighted area is when they're due to ship. This is their their order number, and this is what the product they have here. Okay, so customer genealogy report can be found in My Team. You go to My Team, you go to Formal Reports, and then you scroll. There's 5 reports there. You go to number 5, and you click Select, and then Submit down the bottom, and that will be emailed directly to you. This is going to email the customer genealogy report that covers not only you but your team. So every customer that's in your organization is going to come up on that report. The one on a Monday just shows your customers. Now, the reason why we teach to run your own report is because you might have team who are not active, who are not checking their, things have happened. They've had babies, or, they've just had to put their business on hold, or just stuff's going on in life, and Juice Plus is the last thing on their mind. So if you run this report, you can also check not only your customers, but your teams, okay? And then you can actually, so what I've done here, I hope this is helpful, guys. I actually go through and I highlight everyone. So I did this on the 2nd of Jan. I highlighted all June shipping customers and all July shipping customers in mine and my teams in their businesses. So I've been able to work out who I need to talk to. So I emailed this, I've only just started emailing out to my girls, only so they can start to run them and do it to their families, their team as well. But it allows me to go, cool, I have 10 people shipping this month. I'm going to start the conversations with them now if I haven't been in conversation. Because 4 months goes really fast, guys. Honestly, it goes like that before you know it, because you're so focused on building and doing other stuff. So I've already got all of my shipping lined up. It's the 6th of June. All of my payments, all of my people due to ship have all said yes. Or I've needed to delay them by a month, or one has cancelled, or actually, well, I shouldn't say cancelled, they've downgraded because finances have gotten tight. So instead of cancelling, I'm like, okay, well, let's go from premium to your fruit and veg so you can keep your kids' studies, which I'll talk about downgrading as well instead of cancelling. So running that report just really keeps you on top of who's shipping. No one's going to ship without being asked. Okay, so that is your job, guys. Do not ever let an order go out without getting their permission, okay? Because imagine if that, and things happen, shit happens. If it happens and it goes shipped out, you can always contact them. We can ship it back to head office. They get refunded. They take the fee out of our account, okay? So when we get paid, that money's going to come out of our check. So the shipping cost and all that, because it was on us. So if we can, try not to have it shipped out. It's just a bit of a rigmarole for you, for your customer, for head office. And by running this report really, really gives you a really clear line of the customer care that you need to do that month and leading into your next month. Start having a chat, do a survey. If they're shipping in July, do your survey this month. How are you going with it all? So when it comes up to shipping, they're good to go. You know where you're sitting. For SDVFs and above, this really comes in handy because of our qualification. We want to know who's shipping, who's billing, so we can work out if we're going to qualify that month or not as well. Okay. Let me go through that. Okay, reasons why people cancel. What I found is that they've just had expectations that have not been met. They wanted to lose 10 kilos in a week, even though I've told them 1,000 times that is not possible. So they've just not seen the value. And as much as I have tried, I've invested, I've given, my all, they've cancelled. And I've just had to suck it up. I've actually just had to go, well, you know what? They're not my ideal customer. And that's okay. Like, not every customer is going to be your ideal customer. Some people don't get it. They just don't get the real wealth in health. They want the quick fix. So you know what? If you've done everything possible, if you've just added 1,000 million hearts of value to their lives and they still don't get it, they're not cancelling on you, and they're actually not even cancelling on Juice Plus. They're cancelling on the fact that they just can't be asked. Does that make sense, guys? Like, has anyone else had that happen to them? Yeah. And in the end, it does not matter what you have done. It doesn't matter. They don't value it. They don't value that.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Just to get a bit woo woo, but I put a post up yesterday. I think it was on my Facebook page, my personal one, And it was this quote that I came across which said, you can't change what you refuse to confront. And just speaking about people who are cancelling, and what you're saying there is, if you know without a doubt in your mind that you have given fantastic customer care, and you know that you made sure that you educated correctly and you didn't instill any false hope in that person. If you did, it's cool. Everything's learning. If you lose a customer and you did maybe think, oh, maybe I did actually oversell the product or something, that's cool. It's all learning. But if you didn't do those things and the customer still wants to cancel, it's not about you. Like, it's not. And yeah, there are those people who just want to lose 10 kilos in a week, or, you know, they want something really dramatic. But there are so many, we're such intricately delicate creatures. You know, there's years and years of ideas and belief systems that are layered upon on top of each other to create us into the people that we are today. And if we don't have self-worth and we don't trust the world, it's very unlikely that we're going to trust Juice Plus. And I believe that to a certain degree, your perception creates your reality. So if you go into Juice Plus with a negative expectation, there's a very good chance that you're going to have a negative experience. And there is absolutely nothing, aside from being superhuman, like healers and coaches that just break apart everyone's limiting beliefs, which some of us are, but let's be honest, that's a lot of time and effort and energy. And if people aren't paying you $500 an hour, then we can't really do that for every customer. There is a chance that there is something inside of them that is going to limit their experience with Juice Plus. So I just wanted to add that, because I have come across that myself over the last couple of weeks, and it can be very, very frustrating, because you know that the person needs it, you know that they'll get the results, but you cannot get inside of their brain and get them to believe in themselves or anything else. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
That's so perfect, Kiara. And so true, because even when someone's invested in themselves, how many people have had them not even take their Juice Plus? They're keeping it for good. You know, it's so funny. Like, we can't go in and feed them their Juice Plus every day. Even Channing Tatum's abs with a text message reminding them still might not get them to take their Juice Plus. You know, so again, that's where you come back when, you know, if you're having that conversation and they're like, oh, it's just not working for me. It's like, so are you taking it every day? Do you take your Juice Plus every day? Because if you're not taking it every day, it's like you can't expect to go to the gym once a week and expect that you're going to lose 20 kilos or expect that you're going to be running a marathon tomorrow. It is a small, consistent step every single day. And again, as Kiara said, if they can't do it, or they just don't believe in it, or they don't believe in themselves, it's not hard. You know, we throw a few caps down in our mouth or have a shake every day. Like, it's not hard. We're actually taking it it's so convenient. So I always like to put back on them and go, well, if it wasn't for your Juice Plus, are you going to eat your 29 fruits and veggies when I cancel this order? So you're going to make sure you're going to eat that every day. And they kind of are like, no, mate, because at the start you weren't doing it anyway. So at least with Juice Plus you were getting somewhere. So you can sort of call them out. Like when I first started, someone go, I'm going to cancel. I'm like, okay, awkward, cancelled. And now I'm like, well, tell me about it. Why? I need to know for future reference. And, you know, that really does, when you start to ask more questions, you start to hear what's happening in their life. So it might be the fact that, you know, stuff's happening or finances have changed it. And, you know, when it's a financial thing, guys, we have options. If someone says, I need to cancel because of money, it's like, do you know what? Let's have a chat. First of all, I offer them to downgrade. So if they're on premium and they're really struggling, I'm like, do you still find Juice Plus of value? Do you, like, if you had all the money in the world, will you still take it? If they're like, absolutely, it's like, well, can you afford, instead of $117, could we drop it down to the fruit and veggies? And that's only $76 a month. Could that possibly work? You listen for their response. Or it's like, or if it's, you're really, really struggling, could you do with $10 a week and just go on your berries? So at least you're getting your antioxidants from 9 different berries every day. Because obviously what you're telling me is you're working harder or stresses or whatever it might be. Could you afford that? So do you find that sounds pressuring, or does that actually sound caring? Like, you're not trying, it's actually not about you. It's like, well, you're saying that you value this, but you just can't afford it. So let me try and be your problem solver. How can we get this to work for you? The other awesome thing is, if you can't afford it, can I show you what I do to afford mine? Can I show you how you can get your own wholesale account? How you can actually share the products with other people and you actually get the kickback, which, if you are willing, I can show you how to have your product covered. Do you think they might want to say yes if they value Juice Plus? If they do want to keep it in their bodies and in their kids' bodies? And if you've kind of given them those two options and they're still kind of got excuses or what have you, then maybe they don't value it as much as what they're saying. Does anyone does that make sense to most, or any feedback or anything on that? Or anyone had those conversations, and what have you found? No? No? All right, love it. Everyone's so quiet. Okay, with your customer care as well, I don't know what people are doing, but the second shipment's always a tough one. Sometimes if people are overstocked, so when I actually contact them about their next shipment, I try and obviously do it a month in advance. And I'm always like, hey, you've just popped up on my VO, you're due for your next Juice Plus shipment. How are you going with stock? Have you got plenty, or are you in need for your next shipment? Just let me know either way, and I can always adjust in my system. So I'm not mentioning I can cancel it. I'm not saying delay it. It's just the word adjust is quite a powerful thing, because it allows them to speak freely to you if they do need to adjust their order. They know that there's a flexibility with it. So for me, I've had this month, following up my customers, I've got a few that haven't been taking it. They've just been unwell, and I'm like, oh my God, people who are unwell, who are not taking it, I don't get it, but are out of routine. So I'm like, that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'll just push your order back. Can you see how much, go and check your bottles and let me know how much you've got left in your bottles. And if they say, oh, I've got a whole one of each colour, I know that they've got 2 months worth. So what I actually do is drop their order back by a month and say, look, I'm going to contact you in a month. If you've been missing a few days, or every time you miss something, I want you to double up. So double up, get it back in your system, quickly. And again, they're going to use their stock up, but they're also going to get double lot into their system and hopefully start having more results again that they've forgotten that they were having at the start. So you can always adjust. With a children's health study, though, we can only ever delay that by 2 months max. So just know that one, that you can only delay it by 2 months maximum per calendar year. And that's just based on the children's study and how that's situated with how they do their reports and everything. Suze, is that correct, hon? I just want to make sure that that's correct.
Yep, 2 months. So, and that's every 12 months. So
Yeah.
Sometimes with that too, I only offer the month up first, and then if they go, I can then say afterwards, well, we can do 2 months max with it. But yeah, I've actually saved quite a few orders with doing that, even when they've got financial issues.
because you say, look, I don't want you to lose the children's health study. Let me just delay it. It won't come out without me contacting you, but I don't want you to lose it if you stay off the product for 2 months and decide that you want to come back on it again. And yeah, I've had a few people at the end of that 2 months go, yeah, no, I can't do without it. I need it back in my system. So, yeah.
Yep. What else? And yeah, and just in the end, you know, our customers are our bloodline. They are our bloodline. They are our business. 80% of our business is our customers. Okay, whether they're your customers or your team's customers, that is the bulk of our business. This is where you're going to find your raving fans, your diamonds, your gems to become team members. So really treat them as if they are the king and queen of your business. Okay, really, you know, not suffocate them with love. That's probably not the word. But, you know, send them out a card, like invest some of and even if your check's only small, invest some of that back into just sending them a card, or send them a random email with a recipe. I don't know, is anyone else on here that can share what they are doing and what's working, what they're getting feedback from their customers that they're enjoying?
Yeah, Candy. Yeah, I'm just coming up to my first lot of shipping for the second lot, so I'm pretty new to all that. So just going through all that, but I'm finding just I send out like a weekly email to people with a recipe and then just some kind of knowledge that I've gained through the week or whatever. And I'm getting a lot of really good response from that. People just really like that connection and that value add each week, and it just shows that I'm a little bit holistic as well. It's not just sell a pill, here you go, done, you're fine. It's holistic. It's more than just that. So yeah.
That's awesome. And you know, in the end, guys, it's a relationship. It really is. And as I said, some people just aren't going to value you. You know, we've all had those customers who just don't value you, the product, or anything, and that's on them. But most people, it's this relationship. You know, they love having that feedback and that relationship with you and that connection with you. They're learning from you, and it's really hard to cancel on a relationship. But if you don't talk to your customers, if you're not reaching out and linking in with them and adding value, it's really simple for them to cancel. Does everyone agree with that? Like, if there's it's like your hairdresser, right? If your hairdresser wasn't all that personable, or your beautician, like, how much do you tell your beautician, right? And they become your friends. I'm not going to go and cheat on my beautician or cheat on my hairdresser. So we kind of have that relationship with our customers as well. You know, if we really look after them, that they don't want to cancel on you. They like having that relationship and supporting you and your business at the same time of being supported. Is there any questions or any specifics? Like, has anyone got a message or a customer that they just don't know how to deal with? Anyone? No?
If anyone doesn't have anything there, I just thought of something too that I always do with new customers. I don't know if you covered it at the start, Candy, because I had to duck off with the kids for a sec. I always make sure I find out how my customer wants to be contacted. Some people don't like phone calls. Some people prefer text. Some people prefer Facebook. You don't want to be Facebooking them if they want to keep that purely social. Knowing sometimes with emails too, people will skip over them. That's why with the customer forms at the start, I actually usually print them out and post them so they get snail mail and they're going to be there on their bench to read. Because I'm a shocker for when I get emails going, oh, I'll get back to it later, and I never get back to them. So yeah, just find out at the start from your customer when you're doing those surveys with them and asking them questions, how would they prefer for you to be in contact with them. So that way when you're calling them and they're not answering your calls, you're not wondering why. It's because they're a text person and they're busy and they'd rather just send you a quick text. Yeah.
That's such a
Sorry.
good reminder, Sue. That is so, so true. Because how many times you message someone or call someone and they don't respond, you're like, they hate me. And then, once they actually get back to you, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I did see, but I've been busy and then I forgot. Or I replied in my head, but actually didn't hit send. I do that to people by accident sometimes. Also, too, plugging them into events is really, really, really important. I actually had a beautiful conversation with your friend and customer, Maria, about the retreat, and she was just beautiful. Kiara kind of told about the retreat happening here on the Gold Coast, and Kiara's in Sydney. And so Marie contacted me and I said, look, I've confirmed numbers, but I would love for you to come and join. I'll sort everything out and come along and join us. Give me a call tomorrow and we'll chat about it. And in the end, she didn't actually. She called me. She's like, I can't make it. But we had such a beautiful conversation. And she's like, please plug me in. What are you doing? What's this Quickie in a Park next week? And I was telling her about all of the events that we do up here, and I would love her to be part of our community. And it just resonated so beautifully. And I just thought, wow, wouldn't that be amazing if she had such a beautiful experience with the larger community that she wanted to become part of Kiara's team, because she got to see what we're all about. So it is plugging them in no matter where they are. If there's a community that you love and trust and you can link them in with someone around them, then it grows their faith and their relationship with this bigger community and bigger picture of Juice Plus. Yeah, she's beautiful, Chi, by the way. She's a darling. So events are really important. So whether it is like holistic, it doesn't have to be Juice Plus events. If you're all going out for, a stand-up paddleboard somewhere, invite them, or make a customer care day. Or, it's a ladies' luncheon. Let's all get together and have a customer care. You don't have to pay for it all. You're just organising it. People are coming together and, it's amazing the conversations that you have, and they're all talking. You're not even there. They're talking about, how do you know Candy and how do you know that person? Oh, yeah, I take Juice Plus. Oh, what are you finding? Oh, this has done this for me. And so this person might have been teetering on, I don't know if this really works. And here's this third-party endorsement going, oh, my God, I've been taking it for a year. It just gets better. So events and getting people connected into the community is really, really important. It could be just getting them onto a Zoom call learning more about Juice Plus. It could be, going and seeing a wellness coach that's speaking somewhere in your area and getting people together. It could be anything. It's really what you make of it within your own business. But events and third-party endorsement definitely help. If you are struggling with a customer and you just don't know how to do it, call your upline. Get help. Because they might be able to answer questions that you just don't know how to. And if you do a 3-way call, you're on the call with your customer and you're learning at the same time. Or we can do a Zoom. So utilize those things. You don't need to know everything, especially when you're starting out. I know Rachel, Rachel you've had some bloody firecracker customers, mate, haven't you? Can you share your story about some of the first people that you had that just wanted to make you throw your phone? It made me want to throw my phone. I think Kiara's phone too.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some of the customers that I had were amazing. Their friends are actually known a long time, more acquaintances than friends. And, at the start, I gave them all the information that you're supposed to, told them how the payments work and told them how the shipment works and gave them all the information. They were happy to do it. And then afterwards, give it a few weeks, they were kind of harassing me because they were overseas about when their shipment was coming, even though I gave them an approximate time. And then after that, they were harassing me a few weeks later that they don't feel anything happening. And then I told them, yes, like I said to you before, it doesn't happen overnight. And explain that again. They're like, oh, yeah, okay. And then messaging me constantly every day, what do I eat? What's in my diet? How did I lose weight? And I was happy to tell them, but I kept getting messages every single day with the exact same questions every single day. But I kept trying to give my time, trying to give them all the answers they needed. And then after that, when their next payment would come out, they'd send me messages very upset asking why they had more payments coming out and they couldn't understand why, even though I went back, screenshot the message and said, here you go, remember how I said to you that, you know, it's 4 installments and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, oh, okay, that's right. I just needed that money for something else and blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, remember, you need to write this date down. You need to put the money away every week, like I told you. And every single day I was getting messages constantly. And then I was messaging Candy going, what do I do? And I was messaging Kiara going, what do I do? They just won't stop. And then they just stopped paying for their Juice Plus. And then I had to deal with messaging them about that. And then it got to a point where I said, no, I'm kind of done now. Like, I've had enough of this. So that was a lovely experience that I never want to do again.
Yeah. And, you know, and Rachel handled it so beautifully. Like, it was tough. I was like, Kiara and I were both like, oh my gosh, poor Rachel. She's just starting this business and these people are insane. Like, they really are. And no matter what Rachel did, there was just no making them happy. That was just on that person, or people, I should say. But, you know, and that's a really good reminder too, guys, as, you know, Rachel was talking about payments. So with people who might decline or have issues with payments, on that customer genealogy report, you'll see when their date of shipping is. So let's say it's the 6th of June. Their payments will always roughly be the 6th of July, the 6th of August, the 6th of September. So if you know you've got a customer who's just shocking, they decline every month or whatever it might be, send them a bit of a message on the 1st of that month going, hey, just a reminder, your next payment of Juice Plus will come out around this date of such and such and such. This is how much it is. So that's a good way of preempting and getting them to maybe get their shit together. And also they have to take responsibility. You've let them know. But those customers that Rachel was talking about, in the end, they just didn't value it. They didn't. They were after a quick. They had a different expectation. And there are beautiful customers, I promise, Rachel, that are coming into your world. So don't you worry. And also, too, guys, set boundaries. Really set, and like, I think we're all shocking with that, being females. We like to help and please everybody. I'm like the non-boundary person ever, learning. And set boundaries. So if your customers need to contact you, even whatever is easiest for you, that's not going to annoy you the most, whether that has to be, like Susie was saying, ask them how they prefer to be contacted. Do the same for yourself. If you have a question, email me and I'll get to it when I'm during work hours. Do you think that would be helpful? I'm writing that one down for myself.
What are you doing, Hemi?
But it just stops you from getting attacked from Facebook and text messages and phone calls, and there's never a Juice Plus emergency, guys, let's be honest. Unless you've OVD'd on veggie crack and you're just like, woo, where's the next party? I'm pumped. There really isn't a Juice Plus emergency. You know, unless it's end of month and you push it from a promotion or qualifying, like that's pretty much our most moments. So hopefully, has anyone got anything else to add? I would love, you know, I'm always learning from you guys as well. Hopefully, you know, is there any feedback? Hopefully this has been of value to you guys.
Can I add another little tip in, hun?
Of course.
Just was thinking it's sort of not customer care, but it's more when you're inviting, and you may have people all the time that actually really want to come to one of your events, but it's timing, or you know they're interested. And like we do with our team, we have community give back events with guest speakers and that. So I always felt a bit weird just texting them out. I didn't want to be ringing to hassle them all the time with every single event. So I sent out a big group text just saying, hey everyone, you know, my business is really booming at the moment and I'm really excited that we're adding in some really awesome events and have some great speakers coming up once a month. I'd love to be able to share these with you, as I know your interest in health and well-being or anything, you know, you can personalize it to them. And just saying, if you'd love to receive an SMS from me when we've got these events on, don't feel you have to reply to them, only if you want to come to the event. If you don't want to receive these SMSs, message me back. So I sort of got their permission, because I was always feeling a bit weird just randomly SMSing out events to people, and especially if it was like a group one. So the response I got back from that was, from my list of probably about 20 people, was phenomenal. And people that were like, oh my God, please keep me on your list. I really want to get something one day. It's just been crazy. And so it took away that whole, every time I was going to send out a text, oh, am I bothering people? Because I had their permission. And then with quite a lot of them, I actually knew that I don't just have their permission. They're so keen to see more of our community and come along to something. So, yeah.
That's really a really important part there too, Sue, is that the people who really, really want to come to something, and it's just timing's just never lining up, is they've said how keen they are. Ask them to host a party for you when it suits them, and get their people all together. Whether it's catching up at the park with the kids and you can come and present, or whatever it might be. Ask your people to host parties. That's been our kind of mission, is to get our raving fans who are loving the product to host parties for us. Doesn't matter if there's 2 people or 20 people, I don't care. But host parties at their house. They don't have to worry about anything. They just have to invite. I normally help them send the invite of how to ask people to come along, so the people know what they're invited to and what to expect. And it's been amazing how many more people I'm meeting that I would never, ever have ever gotten in front of. So, and again, if people can, friends do it together, they're going to keep each other accountable. If they're doing a program, they're going to share it. So, again, it's all about that community. All right, team. Hopefully that has helped, and have a lovely night.